Hey guys, Creator Mom. So a few weeks ago, I watched this show in which it was like a horror series, and with different stories. And one of the stories was of this lady who um, didn't feel beautiful enough. Like she always needed something in order to like make her feel more beautiful, like pretty pieces of jewelry and just stuff. She always needed stuff just because she was chasing feeling beautiful, I think. And so her husband really loved her, but unfortunately, this woman could not see her inherent worth. So she always was kind of like, I don't know, like manipulating her husband in a way to keep like buying her things because she needed it so badly to catch this feeling. Anyways, so the husband would keep buying her things, and like he like went in debt and stuff like that just to like try to meet her, to satisfy her. And this really horrific incident happened where they were in the woods, and he was a tree cutter, and asked her to help him do a job really quick because I don't know, he didn't have another worker or something. So he was like, "Hey, can you help me with this job really quick?" So she did it, but something went wrong, and the tree ended up falling like on her arm, and it was like, I don't know, really bad damage. And he couldn't like he I think he realized that if he didn't get her arm out from under that tree, that she could lose so much blood that she would just die. And he loved her so much, but so he had to do this like really difficult thing, or he had to like, it's gruesome, like he had to chop her arm off. And so anyways, so yeah, she ends up with this like nubby arm, and this is like horrific for somebody who really has their identity in like how they look to determine like how they feel. So so he's like, he hates this for her, like he wants to make her happy. And he discovers that he can make her like an arm, he can make up something prosthetic or whatever for her, like that. And then she was like, "Oh my god, that's beautiful, can you make it gold?" She wanted like this whole prosthetic piece of her arm to be straight gold, and because that would just make her feel so beautiful, be like, anyways. So he's like, "Oh my god, like we can't do that, like we can't afford that." And she's like, "Please do it for me." And he ends up like going into more debt to make this arm for her out of pure gold. And then what happens is that the gold metals start seeping into her body, and she gets like some sort of poisoning from it eventually. And because she refused to take the arm off. That's, I guess you can call that vanity. The word just came to me now. She like extreme vanity. um and so yeah, she decided to keep the arm on and die. She decided to die with the arm, for the prosthetic gold arm. And then she told her husband, when she was on her deathbed, she was like, "Please bury me with this, with my gold arm, And he's like, "Okay." So he promises her, like on her deathbed, to bury her with this gold arm. So, anyways, she ends up dying, and he buries her and everything. And then like he finds himself like in really bad debt, like maybe he's gonna lose his house, just shit like that. So he decides to go dig up her body to get the damn gold arm. And when he does that, the show displays that she starts to haunt him, to get the prosthetic arm back. Which is interesting because I feel like that could be like a display of your subconscious mind in a way, because he felt so guilty because like he had promised her that she would be buried with it, that like that he almost like created this experience of her coming to take that arm back. But anyways, that's another story. So I said all that to say that feeling like you always need something else to make you feel a certain way is a curse, really. And this is why, I appreciate the Bible saying, believe that you already have what you want, meaning that you hold the feeling that you're already content, that you have what you want. Because the scary thing is that you can actually get what you want and still feel the same way. I mean, how many times does that happen again with like weight loss? We think, once I get down to 135 pounds, once I get down to 140 pounds, once my body looks like this, then I'm going to feel so happy with myself. I'm going to love my body. And then sometimes people will get down to the weight that they want and they still hate themselves. They still hate the way they look. Or they move on to the next thing. Oh, well, this or that, now I'm still not happy. And that's really a curse. It's really awful cycle to be in. And that's why that's why people say you have to love your body now. You have to hold those feelings of love and beauty towards yourself right now, because scarily you can get to where you want and still feel the same way. That's depressing. So, and it's the same thing with money. And that's actually how I started thinking about this. I was thinking about money. And I'm reading this book that kind of like tells you to think accurately about how much you want to make per month, right? And then I thought, wow, there's somebody out there that's making, say, the amount of money that I feel like would be good to make per month, but still feel like they're not able to make ends meet. The whole phrase, can't even barely make ends meet. And it's like, it would be scary to have that mentality where you're at now, say, oh, I'm barely making ends meet. And then you get more money somehow. You start making more money per month, and you're still in a place where you're barely making ends meet. And you're like, oh my God, how is this possible? Like, I'm making way more money now. And how is it possible that I'm barely making ends meet? Well, I mean, it could be spending habits, but it is most likely like your mentality. Like, you never let go of that mentality of barely making ends meet. And you have to let go of it now. You have to stop saying, I'm barely making ends meet. You have to believe now. You have to switch your mindset and switch your words right now. Or else you can get to that spot where you're making more money and still be in that curse of barely making ends meet. All right, let's not do that.